So welcome everyone. We are introducing a subject called biology. This is a science subject, and in this presentation, we basically want you to be able to know um, why we actually study this subject. What are the things that we actually study in this subject? And what career options do you actually have if you understand this subject and if you study it to higher levels? So let's look at the following scenario and see how it can help us understand the objectives that we have. So we have a secondary school. The science department for this secondary school is actually partnering with the local farmers, environmentalists, and technology innovators to explore how biology addresses real life problems. And during this project, students visit nearby community and um, interface with the residents on the challenges that they are facing. So what this part of the question basically explores is that one, biology is a subject that deals with solving problems. And for you to solve these problems, you need to interact with people in the different communities and be able to get their views on the challenges that they are actually facing. And the other part is that actually you do not only work alone as a biologist, you need to work with the other professionals. And in this case, we have environmentalists, that's one, but you also have farmers and also technology innovators. Okay, so these are people who are coming together to address problems that are facing a community. So what are the things that they note? That the environment is actually polluted because of plastic wastes and deforestation. That's one problem. The second problem is that the farmers are facing poor harvests and pest infestations. The head of the biology department asks you as a senior student to prepare a report answering the questions to be presented during the school campaign. Okay, so one, using the examples, can you explain how biology helps or contributes to solving environmental problems? Two, is that a farmer wishes to improve the crop yields and reduce pests. How can biology help them in achieving this? And then the third question, suggest and explain two career opportunities that can that directly benefit from the study of biology. Okay. So biology is a science that deals with the study of life. Okay, so we can say biology is the scientific study of life. It comes from two words. The first one is bios, which means life, and then the other one is logos, which means study. These are two Greek words. So biology as a term comes from Greek words. Okay, so it is the scientific study of life, or we can say it is the scientific study of living organisms. What is life? It is very difficult to define what life is. Okay, however, we can all know which organisms actually have life. So that means that we may not have a clear definition of what life is. However, if there is life, all of us will notice that this organism has life. That is what simplifies the whole situation. So that means that all organisms that are supposed to be exhibiting certain characteristics for them to be termed as living organisms, or basically living things. So we have living organisms, very many of them, in millions. Okay, some of them are very, very small in that we can't see them with our eyes, and then we have those that are actually very complex. For example, humans, elephants, and others, very complex organisms. Okay, including plants. Now, biology has several branches, and in this presentation, we are looking at some of them. Zoology is the study of animals, botany study of plants, anatomy is about the study of the structure of living organisms. And then ecology, we are here in ecology, we are looking at the study of the interaction of living organisms with their physical environment. Okay, well, how that interaction happens, that is what we term as ecology. So physiology is when we are looking at how the body works. Okay, how the body works is physiology. Genetics, genetics is about the study of how traits are passed from the parents to the offspring. The meaning of that is that your appearance, the characteristics that you have are the ones that we call traits. Where did you get those traits from? How did you get them? Definitely you get them from your parents. But now, how are those traits actually passed from your parents to you, the offspring, or could be a son or daughter? Okay, taxonomy. We have said that we have millions of organisms, but how can we classify them into different groups based on their characteristics? That is what we call taxonomy. Microbiology is about the study of small organisms that we can't see with our naked eyes. So these organisms can include bacteria. So when we look at the study of bacteria, that is bacteriology, it can be viruses. So when we look at the study of viruses, that is called virology, it can be fungi. So the study of fungi is what we call mycology. So those are the different branches of biology. And for purposes of emphasis, zoology is the study of animals, botany is the study of plants, anatomy is the study of the structure of organisms or the study of body structure. Ecology, we are looking at the study of how living organisms interact with their physical environment, or basically their environment. Physiology is the study of how the body works and the different processes that are involved. Genetics is the study of heredity and the variation. Heredity is about the study of how you get or how you inherit particular traits, like I explained earlier on. And then variation is about the fact that we are not all the same. Why is it that some people are different from others, even if they are twins? Taxonomy is about classifying organisms, the study of classification of organisms and naming them. That is what we call taxonomy. Microbiology is a study of microscopic organisms, or the organisms that we cannot see using our naked eyes, and therefore we need a microscope to be able to see them. So why do we study biology? And we have pictures there, and these pictures actually illustrate the different careers that you can take if you study biology. You can be a nurse, you can be a doctor, you can be a dentist, you can be a surgeon, you can be a researcher, you can be an environmentalist, you can be a pharmacist, you can be a number of things. So that means that when you study biology, there are a lot of options for you. You can become a zoologist, you can become a botanist, you can become a genetist, you can become an anatomist, you can become a physiologist, you can become a microbiologist. So for all these professions, what do they do in our communities? If you study biology, it means that you can work in the healthcare setting as a doctor, as a nurse, as a dentist, as many options, as many possible career options in healthcare. So that means that all these people that I mentioned, they help in preventing and treating diseases. And then if you choose to be in agriculture, for example, that means that you will be able to grow crops, you'll be able to rear animals and have higher yields and profit from your efforts. Okay, if you want to be a pharmacist, you will be able to know how to make drugs, how to dispense them, and know the different effects of these drugs. Okay, and then if you want to become an environmentalist, the things that you'll be doing involve making sure that the environment is kept safe, it is not polluted, it is not degraded, and you don't have all this pollution happening. So as an environmentalist or as an environmental conservationist, those are the things that you will be doing. If you become a physiologist, you know how the body works and things that you will be able to detect what goes wrong in a person or even in animals if you study veterinary medicine. Coming back to the question, looking at the questions now, there are a number of problems that biology can actually help to solve. And in this case, the problem of pollution, biology allows us to know what wastes can actually be degradable, which wastes are not degradable. This means that we are looking at which wastes can be broken down by living organisms and which ones cannot. And that means that knowledge about biology can help us in managing wastes. Okay, that's one. And then the other thing is that if we know about biology, we know that we can not cut down trees because this results into desertification and also soil erosion, amongst other effects. And then the other problem that we can address through biology is by ensuring that we can use the proper or the appropriate pest control measures such that we do not actually damage the environment or the ecosystem. Okay, so